Hello. Hi everyone. This is Laura Scott of Stampin' Coast to Coast. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up, and I am excited that we have a new catalog launching, and we're going to play with some of the products today. I'm going to just check and make sure that we have a few people joining us before we get started. Make sure the connection is good, and I will share some information on what's going on in the Scott household in the meantime. We have COVID going through our family like dominoes. My youngest son got COVID about a month ago, and he graciously shared it with me. And so I recovered, and when I thought we were clear, my husband caught it last week. We were on vacation. Hi, how are you doing? So I am thrilled that we are getting past it. Hi, Maria, how are you? Yes, I thought we were going to be good, but we were on spring break. We were down in Myrtle Beach with my parents, and suddenly my husband got it. So we, last week, midweek, we just, abort, leave the premises quickly before the elderly get it. Not that my parents are elderly, but you know what I mean. Older people. We don't want any of our parents to get sick. So I just, we came home, and then today we got the phone call saying that Jake now has it. He was routinely checked at school. The same as Brett, both of them asymptomatic. Didn't even know they had it except for the schools tested and found out they do. So that is what's going on with our house. So we are, just holding our breath, hoping that no one else gets it. I think living in our house, the only person left is Tyler, which I kind of hope maybe he already had it and we just didn't know or something. Hi, Debbie. Nice for you to be able to join us. I am just about to flip my screen down to show you this new beautiful product that we're going to play with today. I'm very excited. I got a pre-order of one of the items that we're permitted to have an order, and then the true launch for customers is May 3rd, so you can start ordering then. But if you can't wait, like me, feel free to sign up as a demonstrator, and you can use your pre-orders to have some of your extra product you can get, because you can pay $99 and get $125 worth of product. So it's a great time when new catalogs come out to take advantage of that. So let's flip the camera down, and I'm going to show you some lovely product. Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened to my phone. Give me 1 second. I've just got to fix it because it was on a second ago, and now it's back to the switcher login. So hang on. Share this device. Share this camera. Let's try this one more time. Hang on. It was doing so well. Here we go. We're getting there. Yes. Allow. All right. She's back. I had it all lined up and everything. So give me half a second so you don't get seasick. Checking on this. All right. So. All right. Sorry. You're watching me work, but it's better than watching the motion going crazy here. Okay. So I'm going back to my chats. All right, here we go. Why won't it work? I know you're not seeing it. I've never had trouble before. Hang on. Hang on. Why? I think you're just seeing me right now, so bear with me a second. This has not happened to me in the past. Oh, there we go. So, whew. Hi, Sherry. Nice of you to join. Here, I'm just trying to get the camera reset up. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna just try to pull it out just a tiny bit. Get the light fixed. Sorry, it was all done before, but we'll get there again. Sorry about that. There we go. Get some light in there. Okay, so yes, this is Happiness Abounds, and this is from the new catalog, which I am very excited to be showing you the cover of today. You will see that I have a lot of little earmarks of things I want to get still. But I will tell you that there was a lot that carried over to the new catalog, so that was exciting too. But of course, that doesn't stop me from having a huge wish list. So this is the product we're going to play with today, and we're going to case the catalog a bit because I thought that would be fun today. This is Happiness Abounds, and it is actually, I'll bring the catalog out again, it's actually the cover image, not the card we're going to make today. I cased a couple other items on the page that shows the product, which is page 109 if you have the catalog. Yes, I agree, Sherry. This set has excellent sayings. I've always loved it when it has a little flare on the ends. Love that. These sentiments are great. Sending many thanks for all you do. Congratulations. Best wishes. Happy birthday. Wish you all the happiness you can imagine. And then there's some great leaves and different flower shapes, etc. And this is the framelit set that goes with the bundle. And it's Blossoming Happiness dies. And we're also going to be using the DSP today. And I have to tell you, I am so excited. I don't know about you, but I love it when the dies coordinate with the DSP. So I'm going to show you that in just a second, but before I get too sidetracked, I did want to show you how you can reach me at StampingCoast2Coast.stampinup.net, or you can email me at stampingcoast2coast@gmail.com, and my April host code is QBRRQ6XJ. And so if you put in order under $150, please use the host code. It helps me purchase the product to be having these live sessions to showcase them. But if you go above $150, I do encourage you not to use the host code, and then you can earn a few reward dollars for yourself to enjoy. So that's that. And then I'm going to show you the DSP. As I mentioned, it is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to tell you, sorry, I'm just grabbing one page from each real quick. Yeah, and I want to show you a little trick. I think that's one of each. I might have doubled one of them, but okay. So this is called Hues of Happiness, and as you know, the cheat sheet with all the amazing information is on the back. It shows what colors coordinate. We have Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Pool Party. So lots of fun, beautiful colors. So I wanted to show you this paper. This is what we call side A. It's usually vibrant. It is just gorgeous with lots of flowers. Just gorgeous. Oh, that's one of the repeaters. I'm taking it out. Sorry. Taking it out. This one has rainbow flowers. Very cool. This is another sheet of this and this. Just same, but two different colors, which we'll talk more about in a minute. And then I'm going to flip it over to show you side B, which is just as exciting to me. I shouldn't say that, but it really is. Oh, Sherry, I'm reading your comments. Sherry says, it makes me sad because I don't want to cut it up. It's so pretty. You're absolutely correct. And I try really hard not to look at the reverse side because I get so sad. I always have to buy 2 packs at least because I do, that way it's less, I feel less guilty to cut it up. So here is the flip side with the rainbow. And then you'll see today we're kind of utilizing both sides on the card I'm doing. So that's that one. This is really sweet little X's. You can see that in rainbow. This rainbow, this is gorgeous. This watercolor hue. I'm trying to get all of it into the image. Sorry, I'm a little zoomed in. All right, and this one I just love. That screams birthday to me. Okay, and then we have another one that's watercolor exchange, and then that one. Okay, so that was side B. And I want to flip back to this side because I want to show you. You know how you love it when the framelits coordinate, right? Well, they've done that this time on steroids. Oh, I'm reading Sherry's comment. Side B makes it really hard because they're all great designs. I agree. It's very hard because I get very sad to cut up these flowers. So see these framelits? Well, we know that these outer shapes coordinate with the flowers on the stamp set, right? So we got the large one, we have this one with the little stem, you can see the little stem, we've got this one, and then we've got this one that goes to that flower, and then there's some couple little mini bouquets. So we have this framelit and this framelit that cuts out the two bouquets because one has more flowers than the other. They're slightly different, which is fun. And then we have two slightly different leaves. So we have framelits to cut those out, right? And then these are independent framelits. This, which we'll use today, you'll see that this partially cuts out some of these completely, and others it partially doesn't. So it gives a great design. We'll talk about that more. And then these cut a little like notebook binder type detail to the card. So that's kind of cool too. So, but what I wanted to go back to was this DSP. There's 2 pages. Well, actually there's 4 because there's 2 of each. So there's 2 different colors that, you see how they're the same? So I'm going to show you on this one. All of these cut out flowers. I had so much fun spending the evening the other night just going through and cutting out some flowers, and I just, before I knew it, I made a whole bowl of these. So I just wanted to show you. So that's the big one. This one goes with this shaped flower. Okay. Then we have, let's see if I can find it quickly. This one, of course you don't cut it at the same time, but you get the idea. And then we've got the one with the stems. Sorry, it's upside down, but those cut out with that one. And then you go to the leaves and you have the leaves cutting out too. Sorry, I'm going to move these just so you can see. That perfectly cuts out that one. I'm really bad about doing this on camera. Okay, so that one, and then let's see, is this still on the camera? Yep. This one, so that's the multiple leaves, that's the 2 leaves. Look at this. And then for when you cut it all out, and I'm going to show you what I did. Hold on one second. Hold the phone. So I put it down. Okay. This is what I did. When I said I went through cutting it up, I just kind of like went around, okay? And I split it into thirds, the paper, because I wanted it to fit in my cut and emboss machine, which I used the large because I wanted to only have to cut it into thirds. Sorry, I'm moving some of these dies so I don't lose them. You know, I would cry if I'm looking for that in a little bit. Okay, so I did it in thirds, like around here to make it easy to go through the machine. And of course you can do even smaller if you have the small cut and emboss machine, which is fine too, right? So I just did it in thirds. So you'll see that I have them all kind of cut this way so that I can get through here. And here's where you can see I was cutting, right? But I wanted you to note that there's a lot of little cute flowers. Sorry, I'm trying to make it where you can see it. Flowers that aren't cut out. You see these? which are really pretty also. So don't throw those away. Those are great accents. And I see Maria's comment, so versatile. Yes, absolutely. I've never seen them give us so many cutouts from one page before. And you'll see how I totally cut this one up. Look at that. See, and you see all the flowers that are still there. I haven't finished. This one I can still cut out with a framelit, the leaves. I obviously didn't do those yet. But I wanted to show you all these pretty flowers that you can cut out in groupings. And it will be really fun to add to your card. So I did want to show you that. So, and I am going to flip open the catalog real quick. I can't show you on camera yet. We're 1 week away from being able to show you on camera, but you can definitely make your wish list now. The Hues of Happiness, it does have a suite, and let's see, the suite comes with the Happiness Abounds Bundle, which we just talked about, and the DSP and Glossy Dots assortment. So there are some Glossy Dots also. Let me see if I can show you. See the Glossy Dots? Which has beautiful colors. Maybe we'll add those to our card today. But that's also part of the suite. So how cool is that? So that is that. And I wanted to show you. I'm going to pull this back out. It's not a very big piece of paper, but it's something. These are the cutouts that I cut out from that paper. And this was just in a few minutes. It came out so quickly. You can you know, spend an hour, cut out a bunch of these, and then when you go to make cards, you can whip them out so fast. Okay? And here is, I didn't finish cutting that out, but this is what you would need a fussy cut yourself if you wanted to add that. Okay, so that's that. We're going to just set those aside because we will be playing with those today. Okay, then, of course, you can always stamp and color a wide array of them from here as well. Okay, so I'm going to put these back on here before I lose them. So give me, 30 seconds to do this. Because if you know me at all, you know I will lose framelits. And then I will not be a happy camper. I have a little magnetic bowl to help me with that. Oh, I obviously didn't put it on here quickly enough. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to put it back in its sleeve. So after the video, I will put these back on here correctly. All right. So, Happiness Abounds. We are going to case a card from the catalog. And I have to open it off screen. We're going to do 2 cards tonight. And, sorry, page 109 if you have the catalog. Actually, it's page 108, but it's where the suite is. Okay, so I'm going to start with one with the little cutouts that we made from the DSP. Okay, and all right, I'm going to start with okay, I was looking for the color. I wrote it on here so I didn't forget. Isn't that great? This is cardstock, so saffron. It measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay. So we are going to take a bone folder. Has anyone else played with this set yet? You'll have to tell me if you have, how you like it. I am so excited. This is my first card. I just got my product, so I love sharing my experiences with you. So that's why I haven't come up with new cards yet, but I plan to very soon, and I will share some pictures on my Facebook page. So feel free to check that out. So, so this is So Saffron, And then I'm going to take a piece of the DSP. Let's see. Oh, Sherry says she hasn't done it yet, but she's already eyed up a card that she saw and she wants to make it this weekend. Oh, I really hope you share a picture, Sherry. That would be very cool. Okay, so this is a side bead, but I just love the transition of colors, this watercolor print. It's on the opposite side of this one, which we'll see in a second. This measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're going to take that. And we are going to glue that right on here. And I want to show you something I learned. You know, I love to share techniques. I'm going to use my Mono multi-purpose liquid glue. Sherry says works interfering. Yes, Sherry, I really wanted to play. Even today, I was like, oh, I want to play some more with that before my live. Dang, work got in the way. And then, I don't know if you heard at the beginning of my video that I got a call today that my son, Jake, who's a junior in high school, about to take AP exams, that he tested positive for COVID today. So my husband is just recovering. My youngest son and I had it 4 weeks ago, and now Jake has it. I am thankful that he is asymptomatic, but he has AP exams next week. This is not the time for this. He's finishing his volleyball season, and now he's home instead of being at, you know, volleyball and studying for APs with his class. What are you gonna do? Okay, so I did what I was telling you that I wanted to show you a technique while I chatted. I'm sorry, I'll repeat. So I put the glue on, I laid it down, and very quickly, before the glue could set, I took a bone folder and I pushed the glue. Sometimes you might see a little indication of glue lines, and this was so cool that I saw someone do this, and it just totally smooths it out. I love it. So just a hint, if you're using glue, if you're ever worried about those lines or any markings, you can do the bone folder to push it around a little bit, smooth it out. All right, so that is the first layer. And next, I'm going to put the opposite side. So now we're going to put this on top, and this measures 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay, so 3 1/2, 4 3/4. So if you're taking pictures or notes, that's for this side. Okay, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. All right, so that is that. I'm going to drop something. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this straight down again. So do this one more time. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to grab my bone folder again. I like to have it ready. So I want the pink to be up. I'm doing it where they're opposite. And it is how they did it in the catalog, so it's not like I came up with it, but I did like the fact that they have it opposite where the yellow, I'll show you, sorry, I need a point. Okay, I like that they did it where the pink's on this end, on this layer, but the pink's on that end, on this layer. See how that's pink and that's yellow versus the yellow and pink? I liked that. I thought that gave it some great interest. All right, so that's a little crooked. Pretend you don't see that. Okay, we're good. So next layer, okay, so let me get my next piece of paper. Hang on. Okay, the next one is going to be cardstock Melon Mambo, and it measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to cut a diagonal to a 1 inch mark, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let me get my cutter. Sherry, I'm so glad you like my tip. All right, so this is where you get to laugh because I'm going to try to do this upside down. So I'm going to grab a pencil. And this is a shout out for my daughter who loves Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man pencil I found in my drawer, so I'm going to use it. So we are going to turn it because I want to measure 1 inch. And a lot of times I'll measure it, sorry, I want it to be on this side. Okay. A lot of times I'll measure it just under 1 inch because then I can just chop off the piece that has the mark on it. So you see, I will, sorry, let's see if I can pick this up. So just have a mark here at the 1 inch. And then what I'm going to do is cut it from that mark to the point because I just want to add some interest. To this layer. That's it. So this is trash. I do see there's a little bit of a mark still on there, so I'm going to erase that. I have a little handy dandy eraser. Okay, so it's gone. All right, so move my cutter. Okay, so that's that layer. And again, it's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. All right, so now I'm going to take out that framelit. One of the framelits that had a stitch, like the notebook edge. And I'm going to tell you, you have to be careful how you cut this because, and I'm going to show you Sherry, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Sherry says I need to get my nails painted with the new in colors for next week's kickoff. You know what, Sherry? I think that's a great idea. I'm definitely going to do that, and then I'll play with the new in colors. You can tell these are my Easter nails. I've got a little girl and little boy. You've heard me talk about my buddy Jack at the nail salon. He did bunnies, which I thought was really cute. I sent a lot of bunny Easter cards this year. So I will post pictures of that. I really thought that was fun making the bunny cards. So, okay, back to this. This framelit has a side that will cut off a straight line. Okay, I just want to make sure you can see that. And then this side does not. So that's the side you want to go facing into your cardstock. So I put the line side, sorry, I don't know what the easiest way to tell you this, the line side all the way to the edge because it's going to cut that off again. So I just kind of like did like that when I lined it up on my cutting machine because it's going to chop off that top piece. So don't put it on here like this or you're going to be chopping off your dots unless you want to strip with just a tiny dots. So anyway, so I went ahead and did that, and for the magic of television, this is what comes out after I put it through the machine. Okay, I went ahead and already cut that for us today so that you don't have to watch me do that. I have other videos if you want any tips on cut and emboss machine. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me at my email or my website, and I will be happy to go over that with you again. So that is this, and I'm going to build my flowers on this, and then I'm going to put them on here with dimensionals. Okay, so let's just go to the fun part, flowers. All right, gonna throw these on here. we can play. I can do it exactly the way the book has it, or we can do something different. I'm a sucker for purple. The book has, the sample in the book has blue. Sorry, they're flipping over. So I'll show you what the book has first, and then we'll talk about variations, okay? We have the blue, and then we have some yellow. Let's see. And then it had some pink. All right, like that. And then we, I thought I cut out, there are my leaves. You know I cut out some leaves. Oops, I am so, let's see, it has it something like this. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Where are my other leaves? Ugh. You know I need more leaves than that. Where'd the leaves go? This is gonna make me a little crazy because I'm gonna have to go cut another leaf. Yes, well, you guys look at all these pretty flowers, because I'm gonna cut one more leaf. Hopefully I'll find it over there when I walk over there. I'll be right back. That is so weird. Oh, I found it. Ta-da! Thank goodness I didn't have to cut it. So here's some more leaves. So, okay, so the book has something similar to this, okay? Then Happy Birthday is stamped this direction, which I think is really neat. So let me just grab my white embossing powder, because I think that would make it really pop. I guess I didn't notice that before, but I got it. Hi, Phoebe. Welcome. Okay, so I have some white embossing powder. So we're going to stamp, and then we'll glue all this on. All right, so let's do a quick stamp. I'm going to get some Versamark ink, which it's really sticky, and it helps, it doesn't dry real fast, so that I can, and Debbie will recognize the little spoons. Debbie shipped me these spoons to go with my embossing powders. Thank you, Deb. I thought that was really cool. All right, we're gonna grab a happy birthday stamp, which I told you I think is just gorgeous. I have it already mounted, we're going to use it on both cards. I can't believe I didn't notice this stamp the first time I looked at the page, but I do love it. I don't know what got green all over my Versamark. People sometimes have the Versamark ink pad that they use at home that's all icky looking, because it does get ink colors on it sometimes. And then they have one for show that they keep all nice and pretty, but sorry, you're getting the icky one. All right, sorry, that's kind of off camera, but I'm just doing that. And then I'm just gonna put it in here. It's just white embossing powder. I don't know why it doesn't look like it got a lot on there, but I'm hoping it will come out nice. So, just grabbing my little heat gun, but I need to put the lid on stuff before I go any further. I should have shut my ink pad before I did the dust. Sherry says that hers are all well used. No show pads there. Good. I'm not alone. It's funny. Okay, so we're just going to do this. Cover your ears for a second. I'm gonna emboss. I'm gonna heat this real quick. I love watching it change. I hope you can see it changing. I don't think I stamped it very well, guys. Blew my flowers a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. But that is, whoops. One of my favorite things to do is to heat emboss the sentiment. I think it's kind of blurry. Sorry, it's not focusing. I hope that's better. Okay. All right. So we are going to build our flowers right on here, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. So let me just grab those. I started using a little pocket with all my dimensionals in it, and I have a few started. That's why I started putting them in a pocket, because now maybe I'll use up the ones that are started before I grab new ones. Okay, so let's just start with, let's do blue. I always go to purple, so just gonna change it up a little bit and go to blue. I'm gonna try to put my dimensionals in a little bit so that it has room to tuck in some leaves and such. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this on here. Boom. No right and wrong way. We're just having some fun. And I'm gonna put this one over here. So just want to make sure I don't put another dimensional in that spot. So I'm going to keep them over. I'm going to put my finger over that section. Guess it needs one more, huh? Okay. That was way too many dimensionals. I know some people, dimensional police are on there going, oh my goodness, she used 3. I did. I did. Let's see. Try to leave a little space and not overlap it too much, but I guess I'll just put it right there. And then the next one they used, I think they used a pink. It might have been a light purple. We're going pink. Sherry, I see you. Sherry's commenting. She knows I like my dimensionals. All right, so for this one, it's not overlapping anything that I can tell, so we're gonna just put a couple dimensionals there. Sherry, I think you're right. I think there's a certain someone on here that would have put another one on there. Absolutely. All right, so I kind of feel like that little stem's gonna go underneath. We'll just put that like that. And then the leaves. The leaves, you know, I really have started to value leaves so much lately. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm trying to grab, I'm going to add a little mini to it. There's mini dimensionals too for those little spots. I don't want to try to squeeze a dimensional in, so I'm going to just add a mini. Let's see. Didn't come off. There we go. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot tell you how fun this is. It is so much fun to play with this set. I'm just floored. Oops. I glued it to my grid paper. Don't tell nobody. All right. Don't tell anyone. I don't talk like that. So let's see. This one, I'm just going to throw in a couple minis. I love that they give us a little versatility in our dimensionals, so I don't have to worry about it. You can always, if you don't have the two different sizes, you can of course just cut up the larger. They cut up really easily. I just think for time's sake that I love the fact that they offer tiny ones. They also offer black ones too, so if you're gluing something on black and you don't want white to be noticeable at all, they have black ones. It's very nice. I'm reading the comments. Phoebe, yes. If you watch the replay, I spent just a few minutes. I cut up, I cut up the DSP and then just spent an evening, because all of these flowers, which there are 3 different flower shapes, then there's also 2 different leaf shapes that are all in the DSP. Most of the images on 2 different DSP pages, which makes 4 because there's 2 of each, they cut out everything almost, all except for little tiny flowers, which are precious themselves. I was telling people that you should definitely cut those out as well. So I think I'll wait and attach this after I get this on the card front, because you see me just put that on there. don't let me forget where I put that. So because it's gonna probably touch my grid paper again. I'm gonna put my spoon over here. Yeah, Phoebe, you're gonna have a blast because you cut these out. This was just a couple minutes. I would just like plan like an hour, take those 2 sheets and cut them all up, and you will have a whole Ziploc bag of images. And this, Phoebe, it's right here. I just want to show you. These are the ones that don't cut out by the framelits. Very few things. But look, you can even cut those out and add extras if you want to. Okay. So, question being, do I glue this straight on? Or do I put it on dimensionals? Dimensionals it is. It's calling me. It's calling me. We're going to throw some dimensionals on. Okay. Yes, this is definitely a bundle, and the whole suite is only $69.50. I highly recommend this one because, as I mentioned, the sentiments, look how versatile, and talk about a great starter set, because it's got the flowers, it's got leaves, it's got even little bouquets for tiny images if you want, and then just such great versatile sentiments. So I would highly recommend this. And all of these framelits, someone correct me if I'm wrong, hold on. I want to make sure I'm not misspeaking. Oh, I can't tell if all the framelits go in the mini. Oh, I thought they would, but I don't see the mini indicator. They have a great icon on the catalog for that. I'll have to look into that. So this is going to go straight on. Just trying to think. I want to leave a little room. I'm going to put a little bow on here. Boom, there's that. And then for the bow, they used the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. Now this is carrying over to the new catalog, and it has the 5 different colors. And I wrote directly on here, don't laugh, it's only $11 for all 5. How cool is that? And the crumb cake and white come in 10 yards each. And then the black, gray granite, and very vanilla are 5 yards. Because they, I guess, assume you're going to use more of the white and the crumb cake. Isn't that cool? Yes, the fonts in this set are just amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick bow. They did a double bow. I need to take a bow course. My friends watching know that I'm a little bow challenged. I need to get one of those bow kits. Or bow tools, I should say, not kits. Let's see. The best trick I have is that when you make it, you just pull it short again. And then pull it out again. That way it's taut. I do have my very sharp ribbon scissors because I hate destroying a ribbon. Okay. And I'm going to put that on with a little glue dot. And because it's so tiny, I'm going to do what I call the log method, where you take a glue dot. Where's my take your pick tool? Love my take your pick tool. It's got putty on one end for bling, picking up and placement, and then there's different options for the other end. I use this one quite often. That's the pokey side, and I can make, can you see that? I don't know if it's blurry. Try and see if I can get, here's a black background so you can see. And make it into a log. Okay, and then I'm going to put it, I guess I'm going to put it right here. And you can put it on the ribbon first or the cardstock first, whatever works for you. I'm just going to do that. And that's the front of my card. And you can decorate the inside. I'm not going to decorate the inside of this card right now. I will do it later because I'm going to decorate the inside of the other card, and so you'll get the same effect because I would probably do it very similar. But isn't that pretty? I thought they did really knock that one out of the park. I think this catalog is such a great idea source. I definitely highly recommend looking through it. Oh, I forgot my leaf. Boom, there we go. Thank you, Phoebe. Phoebe measured the large die and says the large die is 4 by 2.5, and she thinks it would work in the mini. Thank you. I kind of just eyeballed it, but I didn't measure. Appreciate you checking on that. Gems! Oh my gosh, Phoebe. Phoebe called me out. I forgot the gems. We need gems. Definitely. Appreciate that. Again, this is part of the suite, the glossy dots. We're going to use our take your pick tool. Move all these over here. We'll get them all out of the way, but you can still look at them. Let's see. I think I'm going to keep it kind of light. Let's try yellow. Where should we put it? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I don't want it to compete with the dots though up there. Hang on. It may be committed now. Oh no, I can move it. There. A little lower. That'll work. And then, let's see, is this too different? And of course we need one more. I wonder if the pink would blend okay. I want to make a I'm terrible with this. Ah, it came off. That's cool. It was bugging me there. Okay, back to the pink. Okay, that'll work. I had to have some bling. I like them to be on there and be subtle. So I was putting pink on pink, yellow with yellow, and then to pop a color. Yes, Phoebe, it's there's not a green. I'm not really sure what the color is without looking through the catalog. There's a purple, a pink, yellow, and light blue. But they are beautiful. They really are. I'm very particular about my gems, and I think they're beautiful. Okay, so that's the first card. All right, let's just set that aside. We'll bring it back in a little bit. And then we're gonna do another card, also cased from the same page. And we're gonna start with cardstock. We're gonna do some Pool Party, one of my favorites. Isn't that, I think it's so understated. I love Pool Party. So this measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's just basic card size. We're going to grab the bone folder, which of course I have buried. Here it is. Crafting is messy, but it is fun, right? So okay, we're going to use this side, and this time I'm going to use it landscape. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to take a piece of vellum, which this one measures 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and it's going to go on top here, but I'm going to do some fancy stamping first. I love how they did it. They used embossing powder on there, and where did I set it down? Got out my, oh, here it is, gold embossing powder. I found these little containers. I cased this off of a friend, Kathy Ferguson, had these cute little containers that she kept. So I got a couple of them. I have to transition them all over. So we're going to use that again with the Versamark. And this time when we heat it with our heating tool, we are going to be very careful not to burn the paper. Just got to heat it. The newer tools have 2 settings, a medium and full strength. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. Okay, thank you people that looked up the colors for those the glossy dots. I assume they said Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pool Party. Oh, look at you. Everybody knew their colors. Thank you, guys. Aren't they pretty? Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Pool Party. I was guessing Daffodil Delight, but I did not know the rest off the top of my head. Thank you. So I have mounted some of the stamps. And, sorry, I stacked them, which I hate doing. All right, I'm going to take these 3. Can you see them in the camera? Take these 3 stamps, and I'm going to just stamp around the edges, and then I'm going to use the gold embossing powder to give it a little flair. And again, we can laugh at my green speckled Versamark pad. I do not know how that happened. Must think back to a project that had that color, probably at a stamp camp or something. I don't know. I don't remember doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to go around the edges. Probably should have spread that one out a little bit. Okay, you just go around. And the nice thing about the Versamark is it stays wet longer than other inks. So you're able to stamp it all before you go to the embossing powder. Just trying to give it a little variety. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper because I want to be able to pour the powder back in. And I always want to close this so that you don't get any powder on it because that would pretty much ruin it. And I hope I'm not talking too loud directly into the microphone because I'm standing up now. All right. All right, we're going to I hate that I picked it up from a oh, you know, did you see me pour that on my desk? Oh well. That's what happens when you do things in a rush. All right. I do have a little paintbrush in my desk. Just trying to find it real quick. You take a little tiny paintbrush. If you have any places that the embossing powder sticks to that you don't want it to, you can get that off before you heat it and set it. Okay, I'm not going to go crazy. So there, you know, I already went crazy, right? All right, so I'm going to pour this back in the container. I'm going to put the lid on. Sorry, trying to get my powder back in there. All right, move these out of the way. And I'm going to grab the heat gun one more time. Just so I don't mess up anything on my desk. I have a board. Sorry, I hate that it was upside down. I'll just put a board on my desk. And then I'm going to do this real quick. You can use any kind of a bone folder or anything. Just to hold it in place. I really want you to see this though. I'm going to pick it up. I'm not going to pick it up, sorry. I wanted you to see it change. I hope you can see it a little bit from a distance. And I'm going to just move it quickly because my tool is an older tool and it doesn't have 2 heat settings. Okay, I had to pick it up because I think it's so fun if you get to watch it change. I hope you got to see it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? You have to look hard in the catalog to see that level of detail that they did that. But I thought that was really, really pretty. Isn't that nice? Phoebe was I was reading the comments. Phoebe was able to see it change, and that's good. Oh. All right, so I'm going to take this and we're going to prep the next layer before I glue this on so that you can see, sorry, I hate that sound, sorry. I got to get that out of my way. I'm not going to be able to stamp if I have that laying there. I got a little messy. All right, so now, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take the real detailed, okay, so next layer is a piece of basic white cardstock. Size is 3 by 3 1/4. Okay, almost a square, but not quite. 3 by 3 1/4. So this, I took this framelit, which I'm very excited to show you, and I put it through the machine once like this, and then I went through it again here to cover the whole sheet with this detail. And I'm going to show you what it looks like after it comes through. This is what comes out, okay? And then you're going to want to take either a poke tool or a brush, and you're going to want to knock out the little pieces out of here, okay? But not all of them are going to poke out completely. So, sorry, hang on a second. I was just trying to find... I have one that was already prepped for you. Now that I buried things, I'm gonna have trouble finding it. Hang on. Hold the phone. Okay, well, it's okay. It's gonna bug me, of course. I can't stop myself from looking. Where did I put it? Okay. I bet it dropped behind my desk because I pushed some papers, so ignoring me. Okay, so we can do this real quick. I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to move this over. Okay, so I'm going to turn it upside down, and the reason why is because when I poke it out, some are going to come out and some aren't, and the ones that don't, I want it to be bent toward the front because that's what's going to give it interest. So sorry for the time I'm spending doing this because I was really trying to have some stuff prepped ahead of time, and it is. I'll find it as soon as I turn off the camera. So some are going through all the way and some aren't. Like this one's coming out all the way, but this one is not. See, these are staying. Because they're supposed to stay and give some interest, which we have a few other framelits that do similar effects. I just think it's so cool, and I haven't played enough with it myself, so I was excited to do it today. Trying to see if that one's coming out. No. Okay. So give me another few seconds. We'll get this done because I had a little... You can use your scrub brushy thing. You know what? I have another one here. This goes on the end of your take your pick tool if you want. Or if you're like me, if it's not going to be a big project day, I can even just use it like this. Sorry, we got some stuff out faster. All right, so I'm just gonna, I'm poking from the top because I want to make sure the ones that are supposed to stay in, that I'm not poking them out. So I'm trying not to be too forceful. Almost done. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys, I was telling you guys how COVID is going through my family. And the first one to get COVID was my youngest son, Brett, who is in 8th grade. He's 14. And I laugh really hard at how I finally figured out how I believe I would have caught COVID from him. Because I wash my hands like a lunatic. And, okay, so I want to show you. See how some are not out all the way? Isn't that pretty? So I wash my hands all the time. I'm going to clean this up for half a second, tell you this quick story. I wash my hands like a lunatic. I'm so careful. Use hand sanitizer and all that. Like, not as crazy as I did at the beginning of COVID. Not that it was crazy. I believe it was important. But guess what? I'm a mom of 4 kids. And forever, every night before bed, I check that my kids brush their teeth. And we have what we call the Mickey test, because when they were little, it was fun to say Mickey, and they would say Mickey, and I would try to smell toothpaste. So we called them the Mickey test. So every night before bed, this child, who was infectious, obviously, was breathing directly into my face. So I believe that's how I got COVID. So if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You always have to make sure they brush their teeth. So I think that's how I got it. Anyway, okay, back to this. The reason why I waited to glue down the layer with the vellum is because I wanted to see where it would be hidden to put glue. So I just took this, flipped it over, and I'm going to put some glue. And I'm going to grab my bone folder because I want to do that smooth out technique again. And you'll see it really effectively with vellum. You'll see right through. And I think it's really cool to see what I'm talking about, seeing behind the scenes. All right, so I'm just kind of like, it doesn't have to be exact because I'm not going to go to the edges, but roughly this is what I'm doing. Kind of tapping because I don't want big globs. I don't want to do lines. I'm just kind of, there's a lot of ways you can put on vellum. You can use a sponge with the glue, you know. Anyway, so I'm just trying to make it where it's hidden behind the paper, okay? So I don't need to keep the paper on it. That was just to give me a little bit of an indicator. And then when I go to put it on here, sorry, I'm being a little picky. Okay, so when I go to put it on here, the nice thing about this type of glue is it gives you a second of forgiveness to readjust spacing. Because you know I'm going to put it on here crooked, trying to look through a camera. Okay, and then this is where you get to see the magic of the bone folder. Look at it, spread it out. Isn't that cool? It's just pushing it around so that it's less of a glob in one spot. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. And then I'm going to put this one on so that the little pokies are going up again. So there's definitely a back. This is where I should probably get out my silicone mat, which I think is one of the best inventions since sliced bread, to keep the glue from getting all over my desk. And I'm going to do the little dots. Oh, of course. Okay, what do you do when you get a glob on here? I'll tell you what you do. You grab a piece of trash, scrap paper of some sort, and you push it around / scrape it up. Because I've learned that if you think, oh, it'll be fine, maybe it won't be noticeable. If you're already thinking it might be noticeable, trust your gut. You thought that for a reason. Don't put it on there. You can also use the tip of your glue to push it around a little bit. And someone said just the other day, I apologize, I don't know who said it, because I think it was a great tip, was if you turn it over onto your cardstock that you're gluing it to, and you don't push down all the way at first, and let it set a tiny bit before you put it down, then it won't ooze out as much. I thought that was cute too. Good idea. All right, so we are going to put this on here, and I'm just putting it right in the center, or trying to, ha ha ha. Because it's vellum, it's good to use the multi-purpose glue. Of course, I've just pushed down all those interests that I was trying to keep up. Do as I say, not as I do. I try to turn a few of these back up. Don't push all over it. Silly me. Okay. Oh, ha. That one was coming out. Anyway, want there to be a little interest there. We'll leave that. All right, so what's next? Next is flowers. And this time, I'm just going to take a piece of white cardstock. Okay, and this time, the idea, and I'm going to do magic of television. Don't worry, you're not going to watch me color. But this is where I just wanted to show you that you can take all these beautiful stamps. Look at all these beautiful stamps. And then you take your Memento ink pad, and you take your Stampin' Blends, and you just stamp out, and then you use those framelits to cut them all out. Oop, and you don't do that. This is also a good point for me to point out that I should have used my piercing mat. I'll show you what I did, because I do see now it was also a little off camera. Look at that. It will, if I was careful, stamp much better than that. But if you use your piercing mat underneath it, it will give you a much better image. So I'm going to show you that. Also, these bigger stamps, it's better to ink them upside down. Okay. Just want to show you some of the images. I'm not going to color everything. Yes, you see how I inked my hand? I know. All right, see, much better image. All right. And these images are beautiful. So I just wanted to show you them. Should have done the last flower first. Let's do another flower. Aren't those pretty? Have you ever stopped to think about the improvement over time of the flower sets that we have with Stampin' Up? They're just gorgeous. Speaking of which, last chance is still going on. So if you haven't looked yet, go on there. Things are being sold fast and furious, but it's, you know, while supplies last. I grabbed something up just the other day. I was very excited to scoop up something, so definitely recommend it. So here's some images that I stamped and colored and I'll tell you some of the colors I used. I did, let's see, fresh freesia. So dark and light fresh freesia. I colored the large flower, and I just to give you an idea of how I did it, I just, you know, where these little sections were, I not even worried that went out of the bounds because I'm still inside the flower. I just kind of like did these little sections with the dark. And the fact that I'm going to blend, I don't even have to worry about it here. If you ever go out of the lines on the outer section, and I'm going to do it on purpose, oh, it's painful. So if you ever do that, you grab the color lifter. Make sure the, if you're buying blends, make sure the color lifter is in your very first purchase, because look, it's going to be wet, but the purple is gone. I just call that, I think that's magic. I really do. This color lifter is amazing. So it makes me not stress so much about what I'm doing. Anyway, so you go around where you think there might be some shading. I would think on the inside there'd be shading there. And then you just take the light color. Sorry, I'm going to make a mess, aren't I? The light color. And then it's all going to blend in. And as it dries, it dries lighter, of course. And it does shading and such. So these are all basically the same, but I just thought I would show you the first one. Some of the blending. Some people even leave a little white in there just for effect. So fresh freesia for the flower. And I'll show you the finished product in a minute. And then this one, I blended Pool Party. So this is going to be a Pool Party flower. This one I did with Mango Melody. Dark and light Mango Melody. Which was here. I must have dropped the other one. But anyway, I promise that's what it was. I had some soap saffron, but I think they came out too light for me. For the leaves, I'm going to pull all of them out in a second. The leaves I used light Mossy Meadow with dark Granny Apple and light Granny Apple. Okay, and then I also did some with the Melon Mambo for the little flowers. But I'm going to bring those all in now so you can see. Okay, and I had fun coloring. So here are some of the purples that I did. So sorry, you don't need to see them all. We'll just grab one of them for the project. So we have that. That's the Pool Party. And then we have, sorry, I have two of each. I was trying to, this is the, what did I say that was? Mango Melody. And then these are the leaves, because if you look at the three colors, I really wanted it to have some variation. Oh, Phoebe, thank you so much, sweetie. She said that my colored flowers are just as good as DSP. I don't know. Maybe you need to check your glasses, but I did have some fun. And you can even do multiple colors, you know, to add more variety to your coloring. These are my little bouquets. And again, I really think the leaves turned out really good with those three colors. And if you are a demonstrator, you have access to the recipes that are used in in the catalog, and that's what I went by. I was just like, oh, those are the colors they use. So, sorry, I made 2 of each. So there you go. All right, that's the flowers I made for this project. So to save time, I went ahead and colored them, and I used the framelits to cut them out. So we are going to go from there. Okay. I hope you're not sad that I skipped showing you coloring that. If you are, let me know and I'll be happy to do a private session. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, it's a piece of Scotch tape. I use Scotch repositional Scotch tape on my cut and emboss machine, and there was just a tiny piece of tape on there. Oof, scared me. Oh, you know what I do want to do? I'm gonna grab some dark granny apple. That's exactly what I wanted. I just noticed this stem was not colored in. There you go. Gotta have it colored in. Okay, so I'm gonna get these out of the way. I, of course, just got black ink all over the backs of my blocks. Don't laugh at me. All right, so we are going to pull this back out, and we're going to glue on some flowers. So let's just start with some dimensionals again real quick. Where did I put them? Here we go. We have large and mini. Keep things moving. Just gonna, not sure what's gonna overlap, so you don't want to go too crazy with putting dimensionals on the backs before you know what's gonna go where. So I'm going to put that about there. Think I'm going to be safe putting a couple of those there. I am kind of winging this now, looking at the image. Let's see. I think they have it up here somewhere, so we'll do that. We have plenty of flowers, right? Okay, I'm gonna put a couple minis on here. Oh, Phoebe, I love your idea. She said Winkastella. I love to bling out flowers. That's such a great idea. I'm totally gonna Winkastella. Remind me in a minute. We'll get that Winkastella on the flowers. I think that's my favorite part of ones that I color myself, especially. You can do it on the DSP too, but when I color it myself, I think that's extra wonderful. Ah, don't stick. All right, I'm just gonna put that there. All right, now I need a sentiment. All right. In order to, for the sake of time, I took it was just the Memento black ink. I went ahead and stamped the same happy birthday. And so I'm going to, trying to think of a good way to do this. I'm going to do that, and they used ribbon. This is the Polish Pink open weave ribbon that carried over. So they just did like a zigzag behind, but they had a big sentiment, so big piece. I think I might Sorry, I'm trying to debate real quick if I want to mount this or something. I'm not really sure. So, but I am going to take, love this punch. Ugh. All right, I have to look up the name of this punch because I think this punch is amazing. And I would not be doing anyone any justice to not tell you the name of it. And it carried over. I was very excited. One of the first things I checked was what punches and what framelit sets carried over. All right, here we go. I found it. It is the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And if you have it, so you can see the shapes. And it's different sizes depending on the width of the paper that you put in there. Oh, it's about to go on a big hunt for my paper again. Okay. And this is just a scrap. And just so you know, it is a 1/2 inch. It's just a 1/2 inch. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna maybe cut it here. I need to cut off a hair. All right, and then I'm going to put it in here. And depending on how much you left extra space is whether or not you want to go all the way in or pull it back to where it's barely. I'm going to be a little daring because I think I gave myself enough room. Oh, I definitely did. That's not even enough. So if you need more taken off, you can put it right back in and chop a little more. That's better. Okay, so I'm gonna put you in. I'm sure you guys are laughing if I'm going cockeyed because you're getting to see this straight on and I am not. Oops, that was terrible. That was terrible. All right, I need to look at it. Sorry, because that was really bad. All right. You can keep going back and forth on each side until they're even. All right, I'm done. I'm going to chop it all away. All right, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so we got a little sentiment. We're going to put it on here. The question was, what should I do with the ribbon? I think what I'll do is just give it a little flag underneath, just for the sake of time. Just going to do that. Which direction should I do it? Should I do it pointed down? Just going to give it a little flare. That's what I'm going to do. Oof, that's a little much. Goodness. Anyway, that'll work. All right. So you can glue this to this first with glue dots or whatever you want to glue things down with. I'm going to do glue dots. I'm going to take the pick tool again, grab some glue dots. For the sake of time, put a couple down. Ugh. Let's see, one more. There you go, that's good. If it comes off, take your pick tool. I laugh when I go back and forth. Okay, so I want it to be even. So I'm just gonna do, the question is, do I want to see any of the ribbon under it, or just have it in the middle. I don't think I can deal with seeing it underneath. I really thought it would be pretty to see it underneath, like around the under edge, which you may want to do at home. All right, if I can't be daring here, where can I be daring, right? I'm gonna try one more time. And I was saying I couldn't do it, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. Why not? Look at that. Gonna give it a little pop of flare to see the ribbon underneath. Okay, now I'm gonna put some dimensionals on the back. I may not like it once it's on, but guess what? I should be daring sometimes, right? And if you do half and half, it helps it stay on there. Half on the ribbon, half on the paper. Just extra adhesive. Put that all in my little pile of dimensional backings so they're not all over my floor. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here, but I wanna finish the flowers. I had to find out what I was doing first. So we have this blue flower that I wanna put on first. Oops, no. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, here we go. All right. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few finishing touches. All right, so this one, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna put her down. I just want to make it centered. Okay, that's there. And then we just have a few little accents to put on. There's some dimensionals on here. And then we're going to throw them on the card. So the hard part is done. Okay. All right, so let's take, I need a little dry run. Here we go. Because they had this one up here. They had this one down here. And they had this down here. I think I might need to change it up slightly. Does that work? I think that'll work. Let's do that. I'm sure you're yelling, no, at the other corner. But I'm going this way. That's the thing, is I have cut out so many of these that I am going to have a blast doing several varieties of it. All right, I lied, putting it there. And you can always go back and cut other little flowers to add if you want. Yeah, I think it was best up here. Okay, so that is that. And then we just need a couple pieces of bling. Should I? No, I think that's too much. I think this one I'm not I think with the vellum, I'm not going to do this. So call me crazy, but I'm not. Instead, I'm going to do the Wink of Stella. That was suggested by Phoebe. Oh, Wink of Stella. I'm catching up on the comments. All right, on the vellum. Okay, so I'm going to just add a little Wink of Stella. I know, I'm doing even the little ones. The little flowers, they're so cute. I wish you could see this in person because it's exactly what it needed. Thank you, Phoebe. I think it was Phoebe that suggested it. Just giving it a little bling. And this is good and dry because I actually colored these last night. But if you had just colored it, you may want to just kind of wipe it off like that on a piece of scrap in between colors so that you don't spread them between your flowers. You don't want dark pink on your yellow. Not that it really does much, but it could spread a little bit of color, and some people that might bother. Adding just a little bit more Wink of Stella. Okay, this is the Wink of Stella. So cool. Can you see? Oh, I think you can see it. Isn't that pretty? Really like that. Okay. Now the inside, I just cut a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside. That is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, just to be able to stamp something for the inside. And for the sake of time, I'm going to do voila, magic of television, because you saw me stamp in color before. So I just stamped one of the flowers and the leaves, and then I did the wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. So I'm going to just put that on here, and you can mat it again if you want. I thought the flower was enough. I'm going to grab my bone folder so I'm ready to spread it. I'm going to try to center this through the camera. Bear with me. I really love that trick. All right, so voila. Oh, Phoebe says, put that yellow one in the center of the flower. You think? All right, I can do that. I was debating it, so I love the fact that you suggested that. Or we could do purple. Yellow. There we go. Haha. Perfect. Thank you, Phoebe. I was debating it and wondered if it was too much, but that's probably bringing it all together. All right, those are my 2 cards for tonight, and I thank you, Stampin' Up, for the wonderful suggestions, because without being able to case your catalog, I wouldn't have had it. So, because I did just get these lovely products in my pre-order, and I strongly encourage everyone to start their wish list now. And you can have just as much fun. And like I said, you have a ton of cutouts from the DSP. And then once that's used up, you can color your own. It will be a lot of fun. So, let's see. Hi. Oh my gosh, I really hope you guys enjoyed tonight's session. It's, again, don't forget that it's just 1 week till May 3rd. And again, if you can't wait to get your hands on it, you can join now. Call me, text me. email me. I'll be happy to help you with it. Oh, I really appreciate. Hi, Melanie. Sorry, I didn't see you sneak in there. But I really hope you guys all enjoy this, and I hope you all enjoy the new catalog coming out. We are going to have a lot of fun. I'm already brainstorming plans for my next session in 2 weeks. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And thanks for coming out tonight. Have a great night.